What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Go Make That Money show. In this episode, we're gonna talk all about selling ebooks online as a way to make that money. I'm Andy, you're watching Learn How, and I help people learn how to use technology to build an online business and create a life of freedom. And first of all, I wanna give a comment shout out in this video to Mike. Mike, thank you for leaving a comment on one of my videos. Hopefully my answer helped you out a little bit over there. If you guys wanna win an Amazon gift card, I'm giving away a weekly gift card here on my channel to those who are commenting, so I will be making announcements on some of my videos for Amazon gift card winners. So make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing so that you can get notified when new videos come out to see if you are the lucky winner. All right, let's jump in right to the episode of this week's show. Selling ebooks to make money online. Now, first of all, what is an ebook? For many of you out there, you're probably already familiar with ebooks. There's all sorts of types of ebooks. An ebook can simply be just a PDF document that you can read on your computer or phone or tablet or wherever, I guess, that you want to read a document. It's basically a book, but instead of a printed book with, a cover and binding, it's just a digital version of the book. Now, this is a very good way to make money online because the cost of creating this type of product is so low. And in this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know from A to Z to start selling an ebook about whatever it is you want. Why should you sell an ebook versus a printed book? The answer to this question, in my opinion, is simple. There are very little to no costs of getting started if you're selling a digital book or an electronic book versus a printed book. If you're trying to sell a printed book, like a hardcover, a paper-bound book on a place like Amazon, you're gonna need someone to print the book, which is gonna be a cost for you. You might need to find a more established editor. It's going to need to be probably longer than 20 pages. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like this little thin little pamphlet thing. So there's a lot of perks to doing an ebook versus a printed book. I'm a huge fan of ebooks as well because there's also no inventory. You can sell as many as you want. You don't have to worry about, say, going out there and manufacturing 100 copies of your book. And then once those 100 sell out or you don't sell out, then you're stuck with inventory or you're out of inventory. With a digital copy of a book, you can sell as many as you want. You could sell one, you could sell 100, you could sell 1,000,000 copies, and it's not gonna cost you anything extra to do that. So there's no inventory, which is also a really big perk of selling digital materials. How to write your ebook. How do you write your ebook? This answer is also a very simple answer. You can use a simple text editor like Microsoft Word to type out your ebook. Type it out as if you were writing a book, or you can organize it if you have a different type of book with a lot of, infographics or step-by-step instructions. You could use a more advanced program like Adobe InDesign or something like that. But for most of you who are just doing, some written content, just use Microsoft Word. They've got tools in there to help you with spelling and grammar and formatting and all the types of things that you'll need to make your book look professional. For all the ebooks that I've ever put out for free or paid, I've just used Microsoft Word and the results have been just fine for me. You don't need to get caught up with making a fancy design. Sometimes simple is best. Most of the paperback books you're reading anyway is a white page with some text on it. So simply typing out your text in Microsoft Word and saving it as a PDF is going to be just fine. How long should your ebook be? This is a really good question, and I think the answer might surprise you. Your ebook needs to be as long as it needs to be. If that's 20 pages, that's 20 pages. If that's 200 pages, then it's 200 pages. There's no real set in stone answer here for how long your ebook needs to be. It all depends on the value you're trying to provide. If you can provide the value that you're offering the customers in 10 pages, then give it to them in 10 pages. Don't drag it out for 100 pages. If you're trying to provide value for someone and it takes 100 pages, make it 100 pages. Don't make it 300 pages and don't make it 20 pages. I think a big mistake that a lot of authors are making in the world today is they get caught up thinking, well, for my book to be worth it, it needs to be like, 150, 200 pages long. Otherwise, people aren't going to see the value in it. They're going to think, oh, it's not worth that price because it's only 20 pages or it's only 50 pages. And have you ever read a book like that? Leave a comment below if you've ever read a book that was, 100 pages or 200 pages or 300 pages, and what you learned in the book, like the core, wow, what I actually learned and took away from this book could have been written to me in 20 pages. I know I have. I read a ton of business books like that where it's just filled with fluff and just talk and blah, blah, blah. Kind of like this video is becoming. But there's so much fluff that's unnecessary, especially with a book. Get your point across and be done with it. And you'll be surprised. People paying for your product and paying for your ebook, even though it's only 20 pages, if the value is there, they're going to be happy and they're going to be satisfied. How should you price your ebook? This is another good question that really depends on the value that you're providing. Economics is all supply and demand. It's the price that the customer is willing to pay for the product that you're giving them. I was shopping for a house recently and I learned a business principle that can apply to selling an ebook online as well. I was looking up, value of homes, and I was trying to think of like, okay, this is the price that I'm willing to pay for a house. What is the house worth? How do I know like a 3-bedroom house is worth this, a 4-bedroom house is worth this in this city, in that city? And I was talking to someone about it. I was like, how do I find a house that's worth this much, or how do I know what the worth is? And like, I was just getting really like deep, or trying to like discover the secret behind the valuation of homes. And their answer to me was simple. They said, the house is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. There is no set in stone number that says a 3-bedroom house is worth $200,000. That doesn't exist. It's different. The price is different in different areas of the world because people in those areas are willing to pay a different price for that exact. You could have the exact same house in Utah and the exact same house in New York City, and the prices could be totally different based on what people are willing to pay. The same thing applies for your ebook. It all depends on what people are willing to pay. If you're selling to a local audience, it's what that local audience is willing to pay. If you're selling to a global audience, it's what your ideal customers are willing to pay. Don't get caught up in thinking that my ebook has to be $19.99 or my ebook has to be $9.99 because that's what all the other ebooks are, $20, $10. Your ebook can be whatever you want it to be if that's what your target customers are willing to pay. There's a reason that rich people, or we'll say wealthy people, are willing to spend $200,000 on a vehicle, a piece of metal with 4 wheels that gets you from A to B, versus other people who are only willing to spend $10,000 on a piece of metal with 4 wheels that drives you from A to B. It all depends on the customer, what they're willing to pay for the information you are providing them. So you really need to dial in on who is your ideal target customer. Think about who they are, what they like, what they're doing, what they're willing to spend. Ask them what they're willing to spend for this type of information, and then you'll be able to discover your price point. Where do you find an editor for your ebook? A question that comes up for a lot of people when they're thinking about selling an ebook is, I'm a decent writer, or maybe I'm not a very good writer, but I can, get some words on a page for, 50 pages for an ebook. But I don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to look dumb, selling this product to people if my grammar and everything's all messed up. Where can I find someone to edit my work? Let's jump on the internet really quickly and we'll look at some places that you can go to find people to edit your work for you. My recommended place to go to find an editor for your ebook if you are living in the United States or a more developed country would be Upwork. You're going to want someone who, is fluent in the language that you're writing to edit your book. And I'm assuming a lot of people watching this video speak English, so you're going to want someone, probably fluent or native English speaking to edit your ebook for you. So I'm just going to come right here to Upwork, and search for an editor. I could probably be a little bit more specific if I want to look for something a little more specific. But let's see here. Got Matthew, Christine, Tanya, Michael, Samuel. These are all like the top rated editors on here. Let's do book editor. Try to get a little bit more specific. Okay, George V. Okay. Christine. Christine is popping up a lot. I'm gonna see what Christine has to offer us here. So she's earned over $10,000 on Upwork editing. $35 an hour rate. I can read all about her credentials here. Let's see, I can see her work history. See how long it took. Okay, so you can see here, you know, this one, some of these projects took her 10 hours. Fixed price. So you can probably be pretty confident that on Upwork, you're probably gonna find someone here offering to edit your work for somewhere around $30 to $50 an hour. So depending on how long your book is, you know, that could take anywhere from 10, 20, 30 hours, I don't know. So you could end up paying a few $100s to get someone to edit your ebook for you. Now, if you don't have a few $100s to spend on someone to edit your work for you, the next best option would be to ask a friend that you know that's a better writer than you are. I'm sure you have a friend out there that, you know, is probably a pretty good writer, someone you know who did well in school or whatever. Reach out to them, ask them, say, hey, I'm writing an ebook, but I really want someone else to, you know, read over it, check it out, fix some mistakes and make it sound good. I can't really pay you up front, but what I can do is I'd be more than happy to give you 20% of all sales. That way it doesn't cost you anything up front. There's no risk for you. You get what you're looking for and they get paid once you start selling your ebooks. Now, of course, if they're not confident in you and selling your ebook, they might not accept that offer, but it's a nice way to, you know, work with friends and family to give them something in return. Where should you sell your ebook? This is also a very important strategic decision to make because this could really cut into your profits depending on where you choose to sell your ebook. There's a variety of places that you could sell an ebook. You can even sell ebooks on Amazon. I mean, you could sell it as like a Kindle version. But my personal recommendation as far as selling ebooks online, to give yourself the biggest profit margin, meaning you keep the most money, would be to sell it directly on your own blog or website. If you don't have a blog or website, you can head right over to my website, learnhowblogging.com. I've got a full tutorial to help you start a blog or website. That's the exact same thing, blog and website. To start your website today, it is one of the best methods out there and one of the lowest cost methods available today. So go head on over to learnhowblogging.com and check that out. And if you do start your blog through my website, it really helps me out a lot. So I do really appreciate your support over there. But when you sell it directly from your blog or website, you're not paying another platform a fee to sell your product. If you were to sell on something like Teachable, you'd have to pay, you know, their monthly fee for, you know, subscribing to their platform. And then on top of that, they would take a cut of your sales for the whatever payment processor you're using. With your own WordPress website, all you would have to do is create a page, and then you can just, you know, put a link, an image, some text on there talking about your ebook. Just make a simple sales page and put in a link for like a PayPal button or Stripe. There's all sorts of payment processors out there that are really cheap and friendly for, you know, creators like you and I. So go find one of those that work for you and just stick a button right on your page. Let me actually show you a method that I use to sell a video course, but this could definitely apply to a PDF. I'm gonna show you exactly how I would do this for an ebook. My method, I guess, is a little bit different than just putting it right on your blog. I would use lead pages. I already use lead pages for building an email list. It's a great way to get email subscribers, give out freebies. I talk about it, you know, in this actual course right here on how to increase traffic to your blog. But let me show you how I would use this to sell an ebook. So in this example, this is how I sell my 6 video course for $7. I've created a sales page here on lead pages. You can see here, I've got some info, blah, 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 yada, yada, and buttons, all these orange buttons. So when someone clicks on one of these orange buttons, let me just show you really quickly what happens. It actually takes them to PayPal, where they can check out and buy my course. The nice thing about using PayPal is that a lot of people know what it is. They've either shopped through it, they have a PayPal account, they've heard of PayPal, so it's very familiar and comfortable for customers. So right here, they'll be taken right to this screen where they can log into their PayPal account and check out. But the nice thing is they don't need a PayPal account. You can just click this button right here and pay with a debit or credit card, just like any other online store. So that's the nice thing, is just with this simple PayPal builder, you can use PayPal, you can use any type of credit card, any way that you want to pay online, you can run it through PayPal. So let me show you really quickly how easy it is to get that set up. All you gotta do is create a PayPal business account. It's 100% free to get that set up. Then all you're gonna do is go into the tools on your PayPal account. And in here, in the tools, there's an option called PayPal buttons. So we're gonna create a new button. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna click this buy now button, and we're gonna use that. And right here on the buy now button, all we need to do is put in an item name. So I'd put in my ebook name right here. Button type, buy now, that looks good. Price, let's say our ebook is $35. I can add some other fancy stuff, but I don't really care about any of that. No shipping, tax, we'll skip all this. Skip, we don't have any inventory. Really, that's basically it. And then I'll click create button. Now it's gonna give me some code. This code right here that you're seeing is for this exact image. It's gonna be an image, and if you click on it, it will take you to PayPal. Now, I could copy this code right here and put it right here on my page, and then it would be that PayPal button, but I think that the lead pages button looks a little bit cleaner, so I use that one instead. So what I do is, instead of copying this code, I go over here to email, and I copy this link, and I come back in here to lead pages, and I paste it in. So I would like, you'll see this button, oh, whoops. Let me go back into the editor. So if you see on this button here, if I were to look at it, you can see right here, there's the link to the PayPal page. I have that link on all these buttons. So whenever they click any of these buttons, it takes them to PayPal where they can check out and buy my course. But for you, it would be an ebook. Then on the back end, you can set up, so it automatically sends them the PDF version of the ebook. In my course, I actually talk a little bit more about how to do all that, but it's not a complicated process to get that all set up. All you do is get the payment, email them the PDF, and then you're done. But you don't necessarily have to use lead pages if you don't want to. I could get this code right here, copy all this code, and then just go over to like my blog, and like anywhere on my blog, if I were to create a page for my ebook, I could write some stuff, make a little sales page, and then somewhere, paste in a button right here and paste in a button right here. And it would look exactly like this button you're seeing over here on PayPal. So that's, another way just to do it directly on your WordPress blog. So the final question would be is, how do you get people to buy your ebook? Let's say that you don't have an established blog, you don't have an established YouTube channel, social media, and you're like ground zero. Like, I'm good at this, I wanna write an ebook, but I have no following whatsoever. So it's not like I can, I got my email list, I'm gonna go send them all an email and, sell 100 copies of my ebook. If you're starting from ground zero and you have $0 to sell if you're starting from ground zero and you have 0 followers to sell your ebook to, you are going to need to use paid advertising. That is going to be the best way to actually scale your ebook and sell it at a high level. Now, which advertising platform you choose to go with really depends a lot on your audience. If your audience is middle-aged women only, then I highly would recommend using Pinterest as a possible platform to run some ads to sell your ebook. If you're going for, a little bit older demographic, male or female, then I would highly consider Facebook advertising. If you're going for, a younger demographic, women or men, millennials, I would strongly encourage you to consider Instagram advertising. So you see, every platform has their strength depending on the demographic and market and what type of ebook you're selling. You have to think about the people on the platforms. Why are they on those platforms? What are they looking for? What type of content are they consuming on those platforms? And depending on what type of content your ebook covers or what you're trying to teach, then you can market to those different platforms. If you were writing an ebook on photography, where do you think a good platform would be to sell or to advertise that ebook? My first reaction would be Instagram. Everyone is very photogenic, into making good pictures and photography for their Instagram account. So that might be a very good platform to use to run advertisements because it's about photography. You see, it really depends on, what your ebook is about and who your customer is to find the best platform. I'm not gonna go out there and just shove Facebook ads in your face if that's not the best platform for you. You might not have the best results just because everyone says Facebook is the best place to advertise. If it's not the best place for your customers and your product, then it's not gonna be the best place for you. So think about your product, who's your customer, what are you selling, like what is your product, what is your information, and think about what platform would work best. And if you can, try all the platforms, and whatever one is giving you the best return on your investment, throw some more money over there. Marketing is a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. But to answer the question, I just want to make sure you understand, if you have no following, no one knows about you, you are going to need to invest in paid advertising. So you want to keep that in mind, maybe before you jump all into this, to make sure you're well aware, like, hey, I'm going to need a budget for advertising if I really want to make this happen. At the end of the day, selling an ebook, guys, is a great way to make money online. The nice thing is it's not very difficult. It doesn't need to be that intense or long. Like I said, you can make a great 20-page, 50-page ebook and sell it for $20 or even $100. I've seen people sell 50-page ebooks for over $100, and people buy them because they're providing value. If there's any topic in life that you can provide value in, whether that's how to be a good mom, how to discipline your kids, how to cook, how to clean your house, how to stay organized, tips, tricks, tutorials, life lesson, like anything that you can provide value with, and you can do it through written form, then you have a good chance of making some money selling an ebook. The profit margins are very high for ebooks. There's no inventory cost. There's very little production costs. You're not paying a lot of fees for different platforms if you're just selling it on like a WordPress website and you're using a PayPal button. The only cost you're gonna have is if you pay someone to edit it, and if you use a payment provider like PayPal, they're gonna charge you like 2, 3, 4% of sales, which is very, very low considering if you were to sell a printed book, you would make a much smaller profit margin. So I want to hear in the comments below, if you are interested in selling an ebook, let me know what questions you have about the process. Maybe let me know about if you have a question about your idea. I'd love to give you some feedback in the comments, maybe give you a little bit of direction or my insight on what I think you could do, depending on what type of ebook you're trying to write. So yeah, drop a comment below for me. I'd love to get to know you and what you're trying to accomplish a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of the Go Make That Money show. Next week, we've got another great episode for you with another business idea that you can use to make money online. We're gonna walk through it, talk about it, and the different strategies you can use to make it happen. All right, guys, I'm Andy. You're watching Learn How. We'll see you in the next video.